Let's begin today's practice with Viloma breathing, whereby we are going to teach ourselves to breathe with greater awareness, with the aim of increasing our lung capacity. And this pranayama technique has many benefits, because it will increase the oxygen in your blood supply, which in turn will give greater renewal to all the cells that make up you. And you are made of billions of cells. So we're going to first get ourselves into a nice comfortable seated position. Now Viloma Pranayama can be practiced sitting. It can also be practiced laying flat on your backs if you choose, but today would be a good one to do in a seated position. Now use a nice pillow or several folded blankets and put them underneath your buttock cheeks, because this will help you rise up through the trunk of the body, thus increasing the space available for the whole of the body to take in this breath. So you might like to watch through first, listen to the techniques and the tips. You might like to watch a demonstration and then join in. So we'll be looking at taking a breath in 3 stages, and then allowing a complete breath out. And we do this 3 times. Then we will be taking a complete breath in and releasing that breath in 3 stages, and going around that 3 times. When you take the breath in 3 stages, you're going to be looking at having a partial breath in from pubis to navel, which is the lower section of the trunk of the body. Then there'll be the next partial breath in from navel to diaphragm, which is the mid section of the breath. And then the third part will be the breath from the ribs up into the chest and the shoulders. So effectively you'll have breathing in the low part, hold, breathe in the mid part, hold, breathe in the upper part, hold, and then one long complete breath out. Now if at any time the body feels any discomfort, return to your natural flow of breath, because it can take some time to adjust and adapt into new processes, new techniques, especially when it comes to the breathing. So have no judgment on yourself and give it a go. So you might like to just lower the chin first down towards the chest and have a couple of rounds of your natural rhythmic breathing to prepare. With your trunk and spine nicely upright, lifted, think of taking a breath in from your pubis to navel, from your navel to breastbone, from your breastbone to shoulders, and then breathe out in one long breath. Again, inhale partially from pubis to pelvic rim. and then partially from the pelvis to the diaphragm, and then complete the breath from the diaphragm right up to the collarbones. Pause, and then release the breath fully. And a third time. Breathe in partially, pubis to pelvic rim, so that's your lower part. Pelvic rim to diaphragm, the mid part. Diaphragm to collarbone, the upper part. And then one long breath out. And then return to your regular flow of breath. Now this breathing technique is going to bring you a good sense of freshness to the mind and body. Let's prepare now for inverting that and doing the interrupted exhalation, as in 3 parts, and it will be 1 part full breath in. So we're just flipping it round and doing it in the opposite way. So again, just lower your chin to your chest to take a couple of rounds of natural breathing to prepare. And then you'll take a full and complete breath in. And then let go partially of that breath from your collarbones to your diaphragm, the upper part. Then let the middle part of the breath go, diaphragm to pelvic rim. Then release the lower part, the pelvic rim to the pubis. And then take 1 full breath in. Then release the upper part, the mid, the lower. And a third time. 1 full breath in. Release from the collarbone to the diaphragm. Diaphragm to top of pelvic rim to pubis. And return to your natural flow of breath. It's a very subtle technique, and one that can bring great benefits, but one that does need practice. So just take the time now to imbibe and experience the nutrients of the breath. Just lower your chin to your chest and breathe. So let's go around that practice once again, so that we may instill it into our mind as to how to. So let's go around that practice once again, instilling it into our mind so that we can practice it at any given time. It's a great breath for bringing freshness to the whole self and for increasing lung capacity, which in turn builds immunity. So ensure that your torso is elevated, lifted, no crushing down of the rib cage into the stomach. You might even like to have a wall behind you to assist in supporting the spine to keep it upright. But do use a cushion or blankets underneath the buttocks. If you've been sitting cross-legged, you might also like to uncross and recross the legs here. So just lower the chin to the chest first of all and take a couple of rounds of your natural breath cycle. Soften the skin on the face, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then by allowing observation of the different parts of the body as you breathe in, keep note of how they feel. You're going to breathe in to the lower part of the body, so that's the pubis to the pelvic rim. It's this low area here. So take a partial breath in there, then a partial breath from the pelvic rim to the diaphragm, this middle part, and then complete the breath by taking in from the diaphragm up to the collarbones. And then one long breath out. Breathing in 3 parts, bottom, middle, top, and one long breath out. 3rd time, breathe in to the base, the middle, the top, and one long breath out. One more time. First part of the breath at the base. Second part of the breath, the middle. Third part of the breath, the top. Completing that 3-part breath in, and then one full, conscious, complete breath out. And return to your regular breathing. Just sit quietly for a moment, see how that feels. And then preparing for the inversion of that. So we'll be taking one long complete breath in and releasing that breath in 3 parts, from the top, through the middle, to the bottom. So a nice deep breath in, and then release that breath from the collarbones to the top of the diaphragm, from the diaphragm to the top of the pelvic rim, from the pelvic rim to the very base, the pubis, and then one long, complete breath in. And then breathe out from the top, the middle, the bottom. One long breath in. Breathe out top, middle, bottom. And then just lower your chin to your chest and sit quietly. Take time for a little reflection. Let us now practice Samukhi Mudra, a position that will take us into the silence of the inner self. It's going to help us disengage from the outside world and give time for us to clear our mind and to refresh and bring a sense of stillness and wellness to our inner self. Don't practice this if you are suffering from depression. Do not press on the eyeballs with too much pressure. Do not press on the ears with too much pressure. Keep a sense of lightness about the hands while utilising them. Be passive in your facial expression. Now, this position can be practiced seated or lying down. We're going to practice it seated now, and then we will lie down after to retain the feeling, the experience we have. This does not need to be practiced too often, only occasionally, and it really helps when suffering from exhaustion. So we're going to take the hands. We are going to place the index fingers just under the eyebrows, the middle fingers just below them onto the eyelid. The ring fingers are going to settle into the part just above the nostrils on either side of the nose, and the little fingers are going to rest just at the sides of the mouth, and no major amount of pressure is needed. We're going to be using our thumbs to shut down the flap of skin at the ears, and we will move inward from there. So let's begin. Let's take our index fingers to rest just under the eyebrows, the middle finger just below them on the eyelid, and you can use the two fingers just to gently separate that skin, drawing it over the eyebrows quite lightly. The ring fingers resting just at the top of the nasal cavity on both sides, the external of the nose, and the little fingers just at the outer edge of the lips. It's like you could almost feel the breath on the tips of the little fingers. Keep your elbows at shoulder height. Rise up through the trunk of the body. And we're going to sit for a couple of minutes like this. If at any point you want to disengage from the position, then do so. When you're ready, you will take the thumbs to gently close the ears, and then breathe. And then very gently you will release the hands away from the face and bring yourself to lie down so that you may retain that sense of inward disengagement from the outer world. Breathe naturally and rhythmically. You feel safe and secure with the earth beneath you, giving it support to your body, and therefore you are happy to let go. And then capturing this experience as one that you may take forward into your daily life. So you'll have this great sense of calm and a soothed nervous system, very balanced composure. So just take your time to bend your knees, to turn onto your side in a fetal-like position. And when you're ready, bring yourself up into a cross-legged position. Bring the hands to the heart and give thanks for your practice, for your dedication and your discipline. And may all benefits be yours. Safe in the knowledge that yoga is good for all.